Niklas Füllkrug, Kevin Behrens and Kai Havertz. These were the three strikers that were called up to the German national team in their most recent international fixtures. Between the three of them, they only have 7 league goals at the time of recording. Füllkrug has only hit double-digit Bundesliga goals 3 times in his career. Behrens is a 32-year-old who has spent most of his career in the lower leagues of German football, and Havertz doesn't even play as a striker for Arsenal. Germany is one of the biggest footballing nations on the planet, with the national team having won 4 World Cups and 3 European Championships. So why is a nation like this now so bad at producing strikers? That's exactly what we will be discussing in this video, so please like and subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. Going back to around 10 years ago, Germany had the likes of Miroslav Klose and Mario Gomez as their strikers, who, whilst may not be the most glamorous names, were proven goal scorers at the highest level of football. Fast forward 10 years however, Germany has a huge crisis in their number 9 position, to the point they are having to shoot in a 34-year-old Thomas Müller and a struggling Kai Havertz who has just 1 league goal all season. And now it's important to mention first that classic number 9s are in general a dying breed in the modern game, and every national team has been affected by this. Take Argentina for example. In the 2010 World Cup, they had Diego Milito, Higuain, Carlos Tevez and Aguero as their number 9s. And that's not even including other attacking talents such as Di Maria and of course Lionel Messi. Last year however, they won the World Cup with Angel Correa, Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez as their only real number 9 options. And even then, all 3 of these strikers are not really number 9s in the classical sense. But the problem in Germany seems to be more serious than that. Even Klopp back in 2021 expressed his frustration at the lack of traditional centre forwards in Germany, saying, "England have 7 strikers, why don't we?" And 2 years later, his point still stands as the likes of Ollie Watkins, Callum Wilson and Ivan Toney, who had 53 league goals between them last year, can barely get a game for England yet would be nailed on starters for a country like Germany. And yes, fair enough, they are all behind Harry Kane, who's arguably the greatest English striker of all time, but it still shows the difference in quality when it comes to number 9s between the 2 nations. In fact, things have gotten so bad for Germany that Simon Terodde was seriously being discussed as a candidate to go to the 2022 World Cup with Germany among fans and the media. German legend Lothar Matthäus back in 2021 insisted that Simon Terodde would be highly beneficial to the German national team. When he is fed, he scores just like Lewandowski backup Choupo-Moting at Bayern. Terodde is therefore a serious option for me, you just need a player like him, Matthäus said. I mean, when you're comparing a player to Choupo-Moting and insist he be picked for the German national team, that in itself tells you there's a massive issue. But Simon Terodde, for those who may not know, was at the time a 33-year-old striker playing for Schalke in the 2nd division of German football. He is now 35 years old and again playing in the 2nd division of German football for Schalke, having been relegated from the Bundesliga last season and only scoring 5 league goals. So why is this? Why is the mighty Germany having to select a 32-year-old striker who has only scored 14 top-flight league goals in his whole career in Kevin Behrens? Well, this is largely because German football for a long time has preferred to play with a fluid front 3 involving a false number 9 all the way up from youth football to the seniors. Stefan Kuntz, the former under-21 German coach, admitted this himself a couple years ago when he said, "We are falling behind in terms of youth development compared to top nations. We focused too much on possession football and tactics, but neglected some of the football basics such as how to win duels, take advantage out of set pieces, winning headers and the handling of one-on-one situations." And this is evident when you look at the strikers that have come through the German football system in the last 5 years or so. Take Timo Werner for example. When he joined Chelsea back in 2020, fans were under the impression that he was a clinical number 9 due to his high goal scoring tally in Germany. But it became apparent very quickly that he wasn't really a number 9, as his best attributes were his pace, acceleration, as well as off-the-ball work. His hold-up play, physicality, and aerial game, which are key skills for a number 9, left a lot to be desired on the other hand, and that's why he only managed 10 league goals across his 2 seasons at Chelsea. He really was just a winger playing centrally, and it was no shock to find out that Werner did indeed play on the wing during his youth. And this number 9 issue is all a hangover from Joachim Löw's era as German national team coach, a position he held for 15 years, where he, among other members of the national team setup, preferred technical, versatile forwards rather than classic number 9s. Oliver Bierhoff, former national team director of the German football team, confirmed this when he said, "In the academies, we've tended to promote players like Mario Götze, who are technically brilliant especially outside the area, and we have slightly neglected the traditional qualities of a striker," he told Süddeutsche in 2021. When this is the practice in a country for over 15 years, there's no surprise that Germany have essentially lost out on a whole generation of number 9s. This is very apparent to see when you look at the amount of technically gifted players that have come out of Germany within the last 10 years or so. In Leroy Sané, Julian Brandt, Serge Gnabry, and more recently Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz, you have technically gifted players. Yet striker-wise, the names that spring to mind are Kevin Volland, Luca Waldschmidt and Füllkrug, all players in the late 20s to early 30s, with single-digit goal tallies for the national team. The only two up-and-coming talents that could be considered as strikers are Karim Adeyemi and Moukoko. But again, Adeyemi is not a classic number 9 as his main strengths are his dribbling and speed, whilst Moukoko is an 18-year-old who has 13 career goals at senior level. It's still very much a mystery whether or not he reaches the heights he has been tipped to reach. So what can Germany do to change this? Well, as former German striker Dieter Müller said back in 2022, I have to be honest, I don't see any German players at the moment who could become really great centre forwards. It could be a while before we see another one. And that's simply the truth. For over a decade, Germany have focused on possession football, with technically gifted players who can play all across the front three being celebrated, while the classic number 9s are labelled as one-dimensional and not fit for the modern game. So it's not just that Germany don't have any world-class number 9s at senior level, they don't really have any potentially world-class talent in their youth ranks either. When Löw went 15 years without giving much consideration to number 9s, at least compared to the wingers and attacking midfielders, then it's no wonder that that position has been neglected at youth level too. The only way to change this is to go back to basics and start encouraging and promoting the art of pure goal scoring, from youth level all the way up to the seniors. Aerial play, hold-up play, and one-on-one finishing needs to be valued just as much as pressing and versatility. New national team coach Julian Nagelsmann must select number 9s in his squad, even if they aren't quite at the levels fans would like. And this is purely to encourage younger talented number 9s in the youth to step up and pave a new generation of strikers in German football. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen, because as mentioned before, number 9s are a dying breed in modern football in general. Pep Guardiola, the best coach in world football by some distance, won a league title 2 seasons ago without playing a striker, and considering that many young coaches are taking inspiration from him, it's not looking good for number 9s in general. But then again, City did win the treble last season with Erling Haaland up front, so that may convince other coaches to go back to basics. But that was it for today's video. Join the discussion in the comments section. Why do you think Germany as a nation is so poor at producing strikers? And what do you think can be done to resolve this issue? Let us know all in the comments below, and before you leave, please like, share and subscribe to the channel.